Welcome everyone to Thursday Yin. My name is Alex. It's an honor to be here and be teaching you today on this auspicious day. We're going to begin today's class on the ground, grounding our backs, right? Rounding and grounding our backs is one way to put it. So as we lie down on the ground, just draw your knees into your chest, give yourself a nice squeeze. And again, if you'd like to support your neck, head, shoulders, right? Just place a little pillow or a bolster, whichever you prefer, right? Whatever works as a support. Perfect. Good. And from here, what we're going to do is come into our first posture today. So right from here, reaching in between towards the ankles, grab hold and open up in stirrup. Now this is an interesting position because we start to open up the hips and that gives us a slight back bend. So we want to be able to roll through the tailbone and really elongate the spine. So for the first minute in this posture, really just allowing yourself to breathe and receive. I'm going to keep adding to the posture. It's going to grow larger and larger, and you're going to stay at whatever feels right for you. So again, all we're doing for the first minute is getting comfortable in the posture. And from there, we start to bring in the breath. So first comfortable, and then you know you're comfortable because you can breathe easy. Breathing all the way in and all the way out. And the breath is nice and relaxed. It's long and deep and peaceful. And then you can inhale all the way through the nasal passage, the chest, and then down deep into the belly, right, abdomen, and then exhaling. Abdomen, chest, and then you'll feel the air moving through the mouth or the nose, whichever you prefer. The breath will start to become softer and sweeter as time goes on, and you start to enter into more of a meditation practice. Because of course, we've talked about it many times before, yoga means union. Union of what? All things as one, right? Everything is connected. And it's all connected through life. And we connect through life through the breath. No breath, no life. So we start to find comfortable edges. And the edges are the progression of the stretch. But remember, whenever we stretch the body, we simultaneously stretch the mind. So the breath really allows us to see, right there, I got a little distracted through the teachings, had to adjust my neck because again, started to involuntary start to back bend. That's not good for my neck. So really elongating it along the floor. And again, just gentle tailbone tilts just to elongate that spine. But now I'm starting to feel where that edge is. I can open up my knees a little bit more, press my feet together, elongate, and then breathing becomes essential. It already is essential, but now it becomes more essential. It becomes, the second stage of the practice where we become fixated or we become attentive, focused, concentrated on the breath. And the breath goes in and out, right? Each inhale, each exhale. And with each inhale and exhale, we start to feel different sensations in the body, especially if you're deep breathing. And this is where we move from comfort to comfortable edge, because now we may be feeling a little bit uncomfortable. Maybe it's somewhere in your lower back, maybe it's somewhere in your jaw, your hips, your chest, your knees. Notice I'm just moving around my body, scanning, seeing, and just helping it along through the breath. Right, I'm already locked in the posture, I'm comfortable, so now I'm really just taking it to that next level, finding that comfortable edge. Maybe something doesn't feel comfortable. Okay, how can I move into that area and breathe there? That's comfortable edge. And then once we find the comfortable edge, we ride it out. And we ride it out until it becomes completely comfortable. And that's where we have to find a new comfortable edge. So if you're at the comfortable edge here in stirrups, stay there. If you'd like to go further and find a new comfortable edge because you feel good now, everything's nice and relaxed, lift your head off the ground, Reach for the outsides of the feet, and then lie back as you lift the feet up in the air. Knees to either side of the body, tailbone down, right? Relax everything, and just look up at the ceiling, and just allow your back to flatten. Right? Let everything flow, let everything go. Relax your head, relax your shoulders, relax your hips, and if this doesn't feel comfortable, you just go right back to stirrup. Right, and hold here. But you can really feel the difference in the two postures. It's the same posture, it's just a deeper version of it, a more uncomfortable version of it. So again, we want to transform this, again, even this posture, from comfortable edge into comfort. So again, how can we get comfortable here? So relax your shoulders, relax your back, relax all that tension out of the body, and start to breathe. When you're able to do long, deep breathing like that, we're going to keep holding for 2 more minutes, 7-minute hold in total. That was 5. Wanted to transition out of stirrup into happy baby. So now that we're here 2 more minutes, really getting in here. That was a 7-minute hold in total. Again, a little longer today. That was something we discussed last week, right? The yin practice isn't intensified by complicating it, right? We're not adding new postures to our sequence or series. We revisit basically the alphabet, right? A to Z. And there's really 26 core postures or essential postures when it comes to yin that really increase, permanent, lasting flexibility. And happy baby is one of them. It takes a long time to bypass the quick muscle stretch and into the deeper connective tissue, ligaments and tendons. And we know ligaments and tendons can stretch, but just a little bit, right? They stretch very, very subtly. But that subtle stretch makes all the difference. It's the difference between being pain-free and painful. Right? When you go into the deeper areas, even in the hips, I remember where this posture was almost impossible to do for 5 minutes. And now even 7 minutes isn't enough, right, to get to that same place. And that's a good sign. So again, I haven't challenged myself in years, but I wonder how long it would be until I could get back to the remembrance of how it used to feel. Could it be 10 minutes? Could it be 20 minutes? Half an hour? Eventually, that strong sensation that we call pain, discomfort, right, will come back to us. And that's what we're really doing through the yin. We're just letting it go, letting it flow through us, experiencing it, noticing it. And now letting go of the posture, dropping the soles of the feet to the floor. I'm going to do tailbone tilts. You have a full minute to do whatever it is that you feel right. Right? Windshield wiping the knees, whichever you prefer. Whatever it is, go slow and stay low to the ground. Keep grounding that spine. Keep resting it on the floor. Right? If you're doing twists, look in opposite direction. If you're doing tilts, right? Don't be afraid to bring the heels in and really get in there in different locations, working it through. Again, it's a very powerful posture. Each of them are, but as we hold a little longer, we may get to experience maybe what we experienced back at the beginning. And so as, more intermediate or advanced practitioners of yoga, we really want to start how we finish. And of course, we'll never know that unless we've done yoga, right? Played yoga, experienced yoga. And so we know how it is at the end of our practice during Shavasana. We know how we feel. So how can we create that same sensation at the beginning of practice? Well, just relax. Or try and remember how you feel when you're just lying there on the floor in Shavasana, being everything, doing nothing. Let's see if we can bring that energy to us now at the beginning of practice. See if we can hold on to that sweetness. Yes, it will build. Yes, it will crescendo. But how do we create that crescendo, that experience all the way through? So it becomes more like the saying, it's the journey, not the destination, right? It is the journey, not the destination. It's all good. But sometimes we think we got to get to the end of class to feel that it's all good. But we don't. We can just go through the practice, posture by posture, breath by breath, and enjoy each and every moment. So I gave us 2 minutes to counter stretch there, a little longer than usual, but we held for a little longer, so that's a good thing. So now from here, start to windshield wiper the knees side to side. Good, and when you're ready, we're gonna roll on to our left side, getting into a good way. We're gonna take that hip energy, and now we're gonna twist with it. So I'm just gonna adjust the camera a little bit. Perfect, so you can see. And again, we're gonna do 5 minutes aside. So coming into a twist, a little longer. We usually do 3 minutes. Now we're doing 5. Again, don't start with the hand lifting up. Start with your hand on your hip. First look. And notice I'm still using the pillow. It's great. You can use a bolster, blanket, whatever. Again, it just helps relax the neck so you don't have that involuntary contraction. And of course, that's going to echo through your body. So again, just hand on hip, relaxing here. And then slowly start to look over the right side and allow the hand to underswing. So again, my hand is just underswinging, and it's going to find a nice position on the floor that I can relax to. This knee is going to want to lift up. That's why your hand is here to help push it down. Good, breathing here, feeling here. And once you get into the posture, spending a full minute to just do little tiny micro movements. So what I'm doing right now is just playing with my tailbone. So my hand is just showing you what my tailbone is doing. It's just trying to move around. And I'm getting all sorts of sensations in the middle of my body, right in between my chest and my abdomen. We call that area the solar plexus. And we're twisting through that power center. And again, just breathing and being, allowing yourself to receive gravity. So imagine gravity is coming down onto the legs, the thighs. Gravity is also coming down on the arms. It's pressing you down. And when you feel gravity pressing you down, that's the experience of gravity. You're letting it move through you. So as we grow towards the light, as we grow towards the sun, we also grow against the sun. We grow against the sun's gravity. And that's really important for our yoga practice. Right? Realizing those two states exist. Realizing the connection, the feeling, the relationship that abides. Right? We're allowing ourselves to be pushed down into the ground. And that will help relax all that involuntary tension in your spine. The deeper you breathe, the more you receive. Noticing how the body starts to let go, how the body starts to sink in. You can feel it as your knees start to connect a little bit more, as your shoulder starts to drop. You might even start to feel sensations like tingling. All sorts of things can happen as we increase our holds. We go back to where we once began as beginners, because this is a beginning practice. Yin Yoga is not a beginner practice, even though it was one of the first yogas that I really attended and stuck with, because I really felt that in order to get to the point of which I was seeing on magazines and on TV and through books, I had to start slow. Beautiful. Allowing yourself to roll out now. Again, we're going to roll right away onto the other side. No break. Just take a moment here on your left side. Just ground it. Move your spine around. Feel. And when you're ready, join me on the other side for a 5-minute hold on the other side. So fully allow yourself to come over to this side. Just bring the right hand on top of the left knee. Look. See how I look? And I just bring my elbow. You can do the whole posture like this, just leading with the elbow. If you can, under swing, you're going to feel it from the hip, through the heart, up into the shoulder, all the way to the fingertips, and then you get the head involved, right? Because ultimately you're twisting the spine, right? From the base all the way through to the crown. So again, breathing all the way in, breathing all the way out. Remember, the deeper you breathe, the more you will receive. In Yin Yoga, you don't even have to do any breathing. Everything is just supposed to be passive and relaxed. But I find, because Yin Yoga is still a yoga practice, it's really important to bring the breath under your awareness. So starting out with long, deep breathing and allowing it to get more subtle is perfect, right? If you wish to breathe deeply through the whole posture, it's perfect. As long as you stay relaxed. Because remember, we cannot be relaxed unless we're comfortable. And we can't be comfortable, right, unless we can take what is uncomfortable, which is the comfortable edge, and transform it into comfort. Because when you're comfortable, you're relaxed. It's as simple as that. Not comfortable, you're just pretending to be relaxed. And that's not real. And yoga is all about bringing us from the unreal to the real, from the darkness to the light. Aso mate gamaya, tamso joitir gamaya, mritcho amritam gamaya. Asato ma sat gamaya, tamaso ma joitir gamaya, mritcho ma amritam gamaya. Right? Lead us from darkness to light. Lead us from unreal to real. Lead us from suffering into liberation. Right? From one thing to another thing. And that's the mantra. Very, very old, ancient Sanskrit mantra. Vedic, yogic, Eastern. It's the consciousness of the East. And it's really supporting our journey, especially in mental health, because all health is mental health. And so when our physical bodies are healthy, our mental bodies can reciprocate as healthy. And remember, just like Achilles in the ancient legend of Achilles, right? You can be as strong as a god, but if the gods held you by your ankle when they made you this way, then your ankle is fallible. And so what was human, what was weak on Achilles was his ankle. And that's what led to his demise. And we talk about it all the time as we transition from core to yin, remembering your weaknesses are to be celebrated, right? Because if you're lazy, if you're tired, if you're this, if you're that, whatever it is that is a weakness, right? That's your future strength. So don't look at it in the sense of what we don't have. Look at what we have and see the alchemy, see the transformative nature, and how we can take that and turn it into this. So how can we take a weakness and turn it into strength? Well, we abide within it. We see ourselves learning how to endure with gratitude, how to transform, how to change. And again, all true change is time, right? Whether it's a moment or several moments or many moments, it's always contained within a moment. And we explore the moment through movement. Movement of the breath, respiration, movement of the body, micro movement. Both these movements increase circulation. Beautiful work. Slowly coming back to center. And again, spending 2 minutes just doing what needs to be done, right? I'm just going to suggest by just starting to freestyle and flow. Wow. But again, everybody is different. And it feels so good to be different, to celebrate those differences, just like weaknesses, right? Because differences in our bodies, well, why can't I do what the teacher does? Follow the teaching, and then you will find what it is that that teacher has that you do not, because it's not something they have that you don't, but rather it's something that they cultivated in themselves. And you have that same self, and you have the ability to cultivate. Remember, yoga is very different than gymnastics, very different from Pilates. Again, all wonderful things. But remember, yoga is more of a spiritual path. We're here to liberate and realize ourselves, and the body is a part of it. It's one of the very few spiritual practices that has a very strong, dominant physical component. Could even be said that it was the original. But there is still one thing that could undermine that, and that's dance. Dance could be older than yoga. It is totally possible. But even if it is, it kind of grew one out of the other, right? The two are technically one. It's a beautiful thing. Again, movement is medicine. That is our hypothesis that we've been working with for the past 8 years. And it's very exciting to realize as future studies continue to explore the cerebellum, future studies continue to explore the hindbrain, that whole area, we start to see more and more just how important it is to vital or essential body services, just how powerful movement is and what a lack of movement can do. And that's why we say if we don't use it, we lose it. Perfect. That was 2 minutes. Fantastic. All right. So now from here, we're going to do something a little different. So 2 options, bolster or no bolster. I'm going to show with the bolster to give the first, and then I'm going to show it without the bolster, which is what you're going to do without. So if you're using a bolster, we're going to do an inversion now. So one more posture here on the ground, placing that bolster high up underneath us, and then bringing ourselves into an inversion. So here's our inversion. So again, I'm just hooking underneath my legs. I can grab my elbows. That's great. If you can't do that, you can just, prayer position in between. That's a good one. Or just clasp your hands. Or you can just relax and just grab your, let's see if you can see your wrists. Your wrists, okay? So now wherever you are, you're here. This is your inversion. So that's level 1. Relax your head. Everything is relaxed. And you're coming into this. Good. Level 2. You straighten the legs. That's it. Just straighten the legs. Keep the legs straight. It's not like doing legs up the wall. And again, with the incline, it's very passive. So again, if you feel like that's too much, and you just want to keep the inversion and not get the stretch of the legs, you can just go back to here. All right, so that's the 2 levels. Perfect. And of course, if you have the flexibility, you also have the permission to go all the way back. But I'm not even going to show it. Well, I guess I'll show it. But I'm going to show it on the other one without the bolster, because ultimately that's what you would do. So I'm going to just throw my bolster to the side there. And now I'm going to show the same thing without the bolster in case you want to try it without. I don't know what I'm going to do just yet, but I'm just going to leave everything onto the side. All right, perfect. So without bolster, what does it look like? We come up, kick our legs up over our heads, just super simple, and then allow yourself to bring your hands underneath your knees, and then you lift up. I like to put my hands on the ground when I do snail. I find it far more comfortable, or put my hands on my lower back like shoulder stand. Some people like to do this, right? You just wait, you can grab your feet. Again, I don't have the balance to hold underneath here, so I just can put my wrists underneath my ankles, that can hold it, or I can just grab my feet. Again, I would prefer this or this, but that's up to you, right? Again, it's your body, it's your practice. Again, you can straighten legs, and that's where we're saying it's more like legs up the wall or shoulder stand. Again, you're not doing shoulder stand, but you can straighten the legs. Why? Because this is known as Savasana. And then you can go all the way back. Again, I just happen to have something here, but again, the feet can just go to the floor, and you can have your knees bent, or you can work on straight. Again, this is Savasana. Okay, lots of talk. So we're only going to do 3 minutes. But again, we've been here, again, for approximately 5 minutes. But we're just going to do an explicit 3 minutes now, whatever we choose. And remembering we can always drop back into an earlier pose. So anything I've demonstrated can be revisited. Right? You don't have to hold one of these postures the entire time. A lot of people will say that's not right, because you should be able to hold it the whole time. Yeah, but then you're not following the tenets of Yin. You're not following the principles. Right? Get comfortable. Within that comfort, find what is uncomfortable. That's the comfortable edge. Find what is uncomfortable while being comfortable. And then transform what is uncomfortable into the new comfort, which is what we call relax. So get comfortable, find the uncomfortable, make it comfortable. By making it comfortable, you then achieve the highest place of Yin, which is to relax. And that's the whole point. Because if you can relax in Halasana, it makes it that much easier to relax while sitting, while standing, while lying down, while driving, while eating. If you're in a situation, Yin allows you to endure with gratitude. Yin allows you to see it all the way through. And that's the meditation, right? Noticing your thoughts, noticing your feelings, noticing what comes up. I've noticed it deeply in my life. This particular practice has allowed me to endure with gratitude. I'm always thankful. So now as things are arising, again, I'm feeling that gratitude. How grateful I am to ride this comfortable edge and to transform the uncomfortable into comfort. And by doing so, I'm relaxed. And I'm relaxed because everything I could ever want or be, I already have and are. And so this practice is slowly revealing that mystery. This practice is slowly allowing greater levels of acceptance for the body, for the mind, which is ultimately the self. You are your body, nose to toes. You are your mind. That involves all your nervous systems, your brain, right? You are everything. Okay, slowly, making your way out of the inversion. Just relax. I like to go super slow and just drop one vertebrae down at a time. And let's relax on the ground. And again, give it another 2 minutes here just to really enjoy whatever it is you want to do. That will be our last posture on the ground. Actually, you know what? You might even want to get off the ground, but we'll do a full minute first on the ground. So just play around, and then we'll move right into cat-cow. But for then, till now, just allow yourself to relax, to release, to let go. We've done lots of nice stretching. We did our hips, we did our hearts, and then we did our heads. So now whatever's going to come is going to be really nicely sequenced with those 3 movements. And again, we're always building on the previous class, right? We're always growing in a direction, increment by increment, right? Transforming weaknesses into future strengths. All right, that's been a minute. If you wish to keep rolling it out, that's great. Join us when you're ready, but we're coming into a tabletop position. And once you're here in tabletop, just start to arch the spine forward and back. All right, just shifting around. Remember, if you have knee issues, placing a bolster or a blanket, right, something to support you, just place that under your knees. Remember, we're not making any more meniscal tissue. Good, beautiful. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Beautiful. Now from here, curl your toes. So I'm going to turn and face you because now we're going to shoot this way. Beautiful. Curl your toes. Again, I have my bolster here for just a little bit of support. And again, I'm gonna roll back into squat. Okay, we're gonna do 5 minutes squat today. Now, if you heard that and you're like, that's why I'm saying keep the bolster here, because if it gets too much, you can always take toe stand and just relax. And then go back into squat and join us when you're ready. All right, so I've already started the timer, so working our way into squat position. Allow yourself to relax. Remember, you can always just roll forward and just take a break if those hip flexors are getting too tight. But again, we want to release, so we're relaxing down and back. Again, I'm going to release myself because I won't have a problem. Again, I've been practicing on holding this position for half an hour. Right? That's the fun. That's where we talk about increasing duration to amplify intensity. Right? Permanency. Right, so just relaxing down. I like to place my armpits on my knees, hook them so I can work with my back. Again, you can also take a forward fold. That's really, really nice. Again, very enjoyable just to forward fold and hold. Again, remembering you can always bounce. Remember, that's part of being comfortable. Or again, you can just have your spine nice and straight, relaxed, almost as if you were meditating in a kneeling position, but now in a squat position. Right, again, you're not looking up, you're just nicely, lightly looking sort of diagonally forward. Again, your choice what you choose to do. And again, just shifting the weight. And remember, if it's too much, I showed you the option. Our next posture is going to be forward fold. So basically you just literally lift your hips, drop your head. So if 5 minutes is too much and you've tried the toe stand, you've tried the squat, and you're just going crazy, just take forward fold. You're gonna take a longer version than we are. All right, so just relaxing here, feeling here, getting into the zone. So remember all the different modifications. Choose the one that works best for you, right? That works best for your body. And again, it can be as simple as just where your feet are positioned, right? Are your toes pointed this way? Are they pointed this way? And that can make all the difference. I want to imagine that you're stacking, right? Your hips and your heels, your ankles and your knees, your shoulders and your knees, right? Your tailbone, your neck, right? Lining it all up. And when that strong sensation starts to arise, if it hasn't already, do away with it with the breath. Right? Super deep breathing. All the way in and all the way out. You're in the final minute. You got this. All right, breathe it out. Breathe that strong sensation out. We're increasing uncomfortability by increasing duration. Once we get uncomfortable, we start to realize what we once felt when we started doing it. Right? Remember when 3 minutes was hard? Beautiful. You know what that means, right into forward fold. So all you do is lift hips, relax head, and I'm going to turn to the side so you can see, and that's it. Beautiful. Happy as can be. Again, just relax, forward fold, get those legs straight, lift your ankles, lift your toes, right? Bend your knees, right? Shift weight forward and back. You see how my legs are straight? I'm shifting weight forward and back. And then if you want, you can hook the toes, right? You can pull, right? You can step on your feet, or sorry, you can step on your hands, right? But again, relax your head. You can have your feet apart, right? Or closer together. Whatever you choose to do, right? Just find your position and hang out. Relax and no need for counter stretching because this is the counter stretch, right? Forward fold is the counter stretch for squat. They just go together like peanut butter and jelly, right? Like the sun and the moon. 3 more minutes here. You got this. Allowing yourself to breathe and be. Healing that forward fold. Right, relaxing your head, relaxing your shoulders. And shifting weight forward and back. And then coming into a place where you can scan the body. Notice what's happening in your toes. Notice what's happening in your nose. And just allow it to flow through you, top to bottom. And you're feeling all those strong sensations in the body and just letting them out. Letting them release. It's like blowing your nose, right? Freeing yourself of the congestion. I find this pain that we experience in Yin, right? It's very similar to congestion in our nasal passage, right? It feels a little tight, feels a little uncomfortable. It doesn't have to be painful. It can just feel strong. It's not moving. But what happens when the immovable force, maybe there's something in your body that you just can't get through, or you feel like you can't get through it? What happens when that immovable object meets an unstoppable force? That's your yoga, right? That's your breath, right? Breathing through it, feeling through it, and ultimately healing through it. Beautiful. 5-minute hold in forward fold. Let's come down. Bring our hands behind us. And windshield wiper our knees side to side. That's going to feel really good. Slowly, slowly transitioning. Beautiful work, everyone. Right, let it go, let it flow. Left and right. Oof. Let it flow, let it go. And as we do this forward fold, backward bend, and just twisting it out. And twisting it out. Twisting it out. Beautiful. We're going to go back down to the hips. Let's see how much time. Yeah, we should be able to tune this in. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to place the right heel over top of the left knee, just like this. And this leg is straight. We're going into square pose. So you want to imagine that your ankle is going right into that little meaty part of your knee, right? Everything's on the ground. This is lifted. You see my hip? So before I get my knee down, I just want to work that hip. Work that hip. See the shift? So now I'm going to shift. Whoop, there it goes. See how I fell down? That's what I'm going for. Now that I fell down, I can curl my toes to help protect my knee. And then I just slowly, slowly start to work my way into bringing this knee down towards this foot. So again, that arch, that's exactly where the knee is going to go. Right? Perfect biology. Perfect anatomy. And again, as we do this, we can put the weight of the elbow down, and that will slowly do it. Or of course, we can come a little forward, right? And that will slowly do it too. As I start to lean forward, as you see, that knee is dropping. But again, now for me, this is my comfortable edge. So I'm just gonna wait here and breathe till it relaxes a little more. And you see, comfortable edge, relax. Because all I'm doing by relaxing is taking what is uncomfortable and transforming it into comfortable. And if I can do that, then I'm relaxed. And that's the key, right? The key is being relaxed. And we're gonna do a nice 3-minute hold here as we open up that hip now nice and strong, especially after our squat. Really, really good to externally rotate that hip. Open it up for 3 minutes. I just found a new comfortable edge. I imagine it as a ceiling. Like right now I'm at the ceiling, and the ceiling is somewhere I'm reaching up towards. But then at some point something happens in the body through the breath. Right? We create space, silence, stillness. And if you're watching the screen, you're going to see again, I'm going to drop down into a new comfortable edge. There it is. Right? That wasn't available to me before. I'm also going to come up and make sure, that knee is falling right where I want it to. Good, perfect. Now this is again another comfortable edge. So now it becomes a floor. So what was once a ceiling is now a floor. And now I'm approaching the next new ceiling. So it's like going through layers, layer by layer, breath by breath. And again, both the movement of the body and the movement of the breath are increasing circulation. Okay, we're increasing circulation through respiration, increasing circulation through breathing. Beautiful, and slowly coming up. And again, no need to counter. Just allow yourself to come around. Because again, the perfect counter pose is just going in on the other side. It's perfect. So again, bring left leg now on top of right. Again, getting that nice divot right on the ankle there or underneath. Just bring it right there. Make sure everything is in line with each other. So that knee is gonna go down here, right? You notice me, even I had to adjust, my leg slipped back and I came up and adjusted. So again, you want it more out in front of you. Good. All right, 3 minutes, let's go. All right, find that comfortable position. Right, again, using the weight of your arms. If that's too much, you can, again, I didn't even suggest on the last one. Again, because who's in class, but again, if it was too much, you can always just back off with your hands, but you already know that, which is great. It's all part of your experience. And so again, just relaxing here. And if you feel anything through the ankle, I used to do this and feel through the ankle. Again, don't hesitate to put something underneath your ankle. And I'm on a nice thick carpet, so no problems here. All right, allowing ourselves to come forward. And again, that knee is moving toward that arch. And then eventually you can bring your arms out in front. And then again, you're gonna go slowly, slowly into it. So now this is my comfortable edge, very different than my last comfortable edge. But it won't take long to relax. And then that ceiling becomes your next floor. And then it reveals the next ceiling, which then becomes the next floor. Which is again, the journey of taking the comfortable into the uncomfortable. You're not uncomfortable, you're still comfortable. You're just seeing where the uncomfortable is. And if you can breathe through that, then you can literally reclaim, right? Just winning a big stack of poker chips, right? You're garnering all those earnings, right? Big win. See, I can feel it now as I'm talking and teaching. that sensation is getting less and less strong. And as the sensation gets less and less strong, it's my job to keep the consistency of strong sensation, because that's going to lead to permanent lasting change. Right? That's how we start to affect the ligaments, the tendons, the connective tissue, not just the muscles. Right? So again, allowing ourselves to go deeper. And again, there's my new comfortable edge. And I'm not that comfortable yet, right? No, I'm good, I can breathe. It hurts, I feel the sensation. But again, it's not that strong that it will pull me out. I can endure this with my breath. And that's the whole point, right? There was a moment in my practice where I couldn't do that. And so I'd have to back off, right? There's nothing wrong with retreat, right? Because we're always in surrender, right? We're surrendering to ourselves. We're surrendering to the teachings. We're surrendering to the practice. Remember, surrender is not about giving up. It's about giving in. Right? Surrender is not about quitting. Right? It's about letting go. Beautiful. Good. And slowly coming up. And again, just let it uncross. And again, I like to windshield wiper my knees side to side. You choose what feels best for you. Oh. And as you do this, just slowly make your way into Shavasana. Take all the time you need. And we're going to relax and release our hips by squeezing our glutes, releasing them. Squeezing our glutes, releasing them. Squeezing our glutes, releasing them. And I'm just showing you with my hands what my butt is doing. Just squeezing and releasing. Squeezing and releasing. Squeezing and releasing. You do that as much as you need. But when you're ready to enter Shavasana, let's do one long Brahmari. Deep breath in. One more minute here at Shavasana, just really letting go. Noticing what's happening within you and around you. Actively participating in whatever arises. You have no agenda. If you have no agenda, then the work has happened with it. breath in. Holding the breath for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. Exhale, let it go. Relax your head side to side. Twinkle your fingers like stars. Continuing to move. Bring the soles of the feet to the floor. Stretch back, reach back. A few tailbone tilts. And again, start as you finish. Now remember how you feel at the end of practice. And remember what must not be forgotten the next time you start. It's this feeling. It's very relaxed. Super relaxed. Good. And when you're ready, roll over onto left or right side with helping hands. Let's come up to a comfortable seated position. Beautiful. And once here, bring your hands together, create lots of good energy. And bring it up over our head and back down over our hearts. Again, bring it back up over our head and back down over our hearts. Good. Really, really fast. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Open it up. And just feel that beautiful energy moving within you and around you. Remember, the yin is the feminine, the passive, the dark, the deep, the lunar aspects of ourselves. The yin represents grounding, surrender. The yin represents slow, deep. And again, all of these words can have their opposite, and that's the whole point. To every yin, there is yang. To every yang, there is yin. And contained with all yin, there's a little bit of yang. And contained within all yang is a little bit of yin. The two are one. And so we're going to honor ourselves, honor the practice by slowly, slowly closing the palms together as we chant the mantra Om. Deep breath in. Shanti, 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 peace, peace, peace. In our hearts, in our lives, in everything that we see, are, and be. The divine in me sees and shares the divine in you. In love, with love, through love. Thank you everyone for coming out today. Namaste. Yay! Great class, everyone.